What's up, everybody? Fabs here, and I want to talk about the Brandin Cooks trade. Are the Houston Texans basically like a fantasy football team or what? Because they love to make these trades, and typically they're not very good ones. So they acquire Brandin Cooks from the LA Rams. So let's start off with the Houston side of things. Cooks is now the most attractive fantasy receiver in Houston after the trade of DeAndre Hopkins. He has had some durability issues. He's had at least 5 concussions during the course of his NFL career, and he's coming off of his worst season as a pro. With that being said, he's going to be in an offense that will throw the football, and he projects to be their number one wide receiver. So I feel like Cooks is probably on that borderline of wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 in fantasy, and he's kind of a risk-reward option at that too because, well, the injury history. Also, this is going to affect guys like Will Fuller, who also has a history of injuries, and he potentially is now more of a 3 or a 4 with Cooks in the mix there in Houston. Randall Cobb is probably not going to be drafted until late, and he's no more than a 5 at this point. And Kiki QT, I guess he's probably in that same boat along with Randall Cobb, probably not drafted in some 10-team leagues. So it's also good news for Deshaun Watson. Now, obviously, Cooks is not Nuke, but at least it's a slight upgrade over what he had. The problem is that Houston's receiving core is not durable, and that could be a problem for Deshaun Watson. But this does help his value a little bit. He's not moving back into my top 3 at the quarterback position, but it is nice that he has an additional weapon there with Brandin Cooks in Houston's passing game. Now, moving on to the Rams. The Rams, boy, they've got a lot of dead money on their books in 2020, and I don't know that this is a team that's going to contend for the playoffs, even with the new stadium opening, hopefully. But number one, obviously you're going to see Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp see a little bit of an uptick in value. Josh Reynolds now is going to be on the fantasy radar as well as a third wide receiver in that offense. I feel like Tyler Higbee and Gerald Everett are probably going to stay right around the same spots as they were previously. Jared Goff, I mean, he wasn't great last season. I don't know that he's going to be great this season. He's at QB2, a late round pick. The backfield certainly has question marks, but in all, it's good for a lot of players. It's good for Deshaun Watson. It's good for Cooks. It's good for Kupp. It's good for Woods. And now both of these offenses are going to look very different in 2020, but there are still nonetheless some pretty interesting fantasy players, although a lot of them are going to be risk-reward selections in your 2020 drafts. So that's my breakdown of the trade that sent Brandin Cooks, by the way, 3rd time he's been traded. That's a lot. And we'll see how things pan out here in the NFL draft to possibly see some more changes in value among the players on these 2 rosters. But for now, that's your breakdown. Hope everybody out there is staying safe. Take care.